Hello, everyone. Laicy Westa of Laicy and Mary. I don't know. The moon is transiting Leo, my fifth house of children and joyfully expressing myself. So I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to put this in our website on our musings bit because I thought I look at stuff every day. Like I look at astrological charts every fucking day. And I thought, why don't I share with other people things that I look at? Because I'm looking at the transits constantly. I'm looking at synastry charts constantly. I thought today I'd talk about synastry and houses and how my husband and I interact with our synastry chart. I'm going to show my screen. I do wish that the screens could be like split. And I know there's a way to do that on Steam. And I know there's a way to do that everywhere else, but I have no personal planets in Gemini. So I don't give enough shits or quick enough to do it. And I'm Aries, so I'm impatient about it. I'm not going to apologize for being me. We're going to share the screen and my little face is going to be over in the corner, even though it's expressive as fuck and hilarious to watch. Okay, share the screen. Sharing the screen. Sharing my screen, sharing my screen. All right. Now that you all can see the same screen that I see. Look how weird my face looks. This is Jeff Wester and Laicy Wester. That's right. My husband's name is Jeff Wester. He is amazing. And we have been married for almost 20 years. So it's kind of fun to look at a composite chart. I've heard it said that you want couples to be together a long time, not necessarily married, but together for a while so that you can really see the composite chart and how things kind of work out. I find that with astrology, sometimes you have to live in the information and then it'll be like, oh shit, I do that, or oh shit, that is a thing. So my musings. Synastry chart. What this is I'm going to unconvert it really quick. So this is my husband's chart and this is my chart. And then what it does is it makes everything go to the middle, right? So my MC is here. His MC is, no wait, yeah. His MC is here. So what it's going to do is it's going to find the midpoint, bloop, bloop. So it'll probably be somewhere in Sagittarius. His AC is here. My AC is here, which means it's going to go bloop, bloop, and it'll put it somewhere in Pisces, right? It finds the midpoint, the center point of the angles and the planets, and it puts them in the middle. It does. Anyway, you'll see. So when you're doing a synastry chart overlay, that's when you can see who brings what to which house. So my Venus here in Pisces is going to bring her pious spiritual ass into his second house of resources, which means that he is going to find me very, very valuable in his life because I am going to, well, I'm going to help him a lot with his art, mostly being his muse. But yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah. So my moon falls into his third house, which means that my body, to some extent, he's going to think about me a lot. He's going to think about maybe taking care of my body a lot, which he is the main breadwinner. So that's a hearty hell yeah, right? He's going to think about taking care of me. We are going to exist together in the same social circles, neighborhoods, right? We're going to be together. Yeah, so let's do a midpoint method so we can look at our two charts together. And now this is the relationship itself. So we took his and mine, and now it's the relationship itself. And we have a Pisces rising sign. That AC, that tells you, that tells me that that's our rising sign. Now, the thing about the rising sign in a composite chart is that it often is an indicator of where you two met or part of the reason why you got together. It's the car AC that you're both driving in. And ours is in Pisces, which is known to be a very religious, very pious sign, a very artistic sign as well. It could also be animals too. Sometimes this could be like two people, love animals and they met this way. My husband and I, we met each other at church. Pisces. So we have that there, and it's where we've been. So maybe in a previous life, we might have been together before. Sometimes the South Node can be an indicator. In astrology, the South Node is an indicator of where you've been in the past. So perhaps we were together in a previous life. And let's see, over here in our 7th house, Holy Virgo, right? Now you'll notice in our synastry chart before, I was kind of pointing to it, that he has a lot of Virgo and I have a lot of Virgo. So we have a lot of Virgo together. And in the 7th house of Author, we are both a lot of Virgo. All right, so we'll also notice that our career, our 10th house, our legacy, has Venus, MC, and Neptune in it. Neptune is the planet of faith, right? Things unseen. It's things we can't see, but that we know. And it's also sort of where we wish to merge with the universe, where we are able to transcend, if you will. And then Venus is the goddess of love. And she loves to teach here. So Sagittarius is a very truth-telling with blurred lines with Neptune there, but Sagittarius is truth-telling. Sagittarius is religious. It's strong beliefs. It's Jupiter ruled. And also sort of another pious sign, but it has more of a higher perspective, travel. It has teaching and learning in it, right? And my husband and I were definitely teachers. And we were teachers on how to be romantic, especially when we were first married. And teachers in the faith, teachers in the church, Sagittarius, right? Teachers of beliefs. Sometimes people will have, they might be teachers or professors together, right? People who study together, learn together. I think of archaeology too, right? Because I think of traveling to learn. So that's another reason why people might have that there. We have a Venus, a benefic, thank you. A benefic here. So definitely when we are in public, we attract other people with how we treat each other. And that's just real too. It also can be an indicator of we do not deal with each other harshly, right? Sagittarius kind of are already really good at picking up on truth, right? And so Venus here already knows it, so she doesn't really want to deal with ouches here. So it means that we definitely we don't deal with heavy subjects with each other harshly. That's what that is. Our sun. So the sun in a composite chart is the conductor, right, of the relationship. A sun in Scorpio kind of has the same vibes of a person who would have a Scorpio placement. It means that we have super deep feels. It means that we love to investigate. We love to look at the deeper, more intense things of life too. Our Venus doesn't like to feel them, but our Sun and our Mercury sure do like to talk about them and think about them and dwell on them, right? But it gives an intellectual vibe rather than a feels vibe, even though Scorpio is feels. And then Uranus here means to break rules. So we have come together to break rules. Now, when my husband and I were first married, we broke what are normal rules, which is virgins. We were virgins when we got married. We did not date, again, very religious. We were best friends for 4 years, and then he proposed, and then I was like, oh my God, I don't know. And then he proposed again while I grew in it. And I said yes, because I was like, this dude wants to be around me forever, and I want to be around this dude forever. And like, it feels like we can work anything out just by talking about it, which my Aquarius sun loves. My Aquarius sun loves the logic. I fall in love with robots a little bit. Right, like I kind of think that, like in Star Trek, Data, right, Next Generation, like he himself isn't hot, but like I don't know why I love this, but I love that portrayal as somebody who's like, oh, interesting, because I feel like that. I feel like I'm constantly collecting data too. Anyway, weird tangent. I'm attracted to robots. Just kidding. My husband isn't a robot, but anyway, so we're going to come together to break rules. So most people, when they get married, they meet each other, they date each other, they probably have sex before they get married, and then they're married, right? My husband and I were friends, got engaged, went on a date, got married, then had sex, right? Like the very Virgo way, right? Virgo here, 7th house of other. So both hyper Virgos, hyper the purest sense of our beliefs, Jupiter and Virgo, right? Beliefs, pure beliefs. Jupiter doesn't love being in Virgo because Jupiter wants to not care, but Virgo's like, we care about details. We need to know all the details. And Jupiter's like, fuck details a little bit. So we get in our way with details sometimes. But holy Virgo. So we broke rules in that regard, right? And then Uranus has a tendency to flip flop as well, right? Uranus's whole deal is to shake things up in order to build a stable foundation, right? There are some people who have Uranus conjunct or right next to Saturn in a chart, mostly like millennials at certain ages, like in 80s, like 88 to like 90, somewhere in there. People who have that will oftentimes have Saturn and Uranus together, and it's like trying to build a foundation that's constantly shaking. It's constantly shaking, right? It's constantly changing. And so it takes a while to build on land that is constantly shaking, right? So figuring that shit out takes a while. But anyway, so we have Uranus, and so it likes to flip-flop, change direction, go back and forth, and it likes to shake things up. So we definitely love to shake up things in the 9th house areas, which is like higher education, higher learning, teaching, Sagittarius rules, right? So we're going to come together to shake up beliefs, not only our own, but communicating it to others, right? We're going to get together unconventionally. And then also later on in our marriage, we're going to flip again. And so Uranus likes to innovate, think outside the box, surprise and shock you, right? Love to surprise and shock. I'm an Aquarius. So we will, after 9 years of marriage, come to the decision that, wow, we missed out on a lot, perhaps by not sort of having sex with other people, not exploring those bits and pieces. We have a great discussion about it, right? And then we decide, oh, hey, let's try that. So my husband and I are monogam-ish, not polyamorous. We don't have like other couples in our life or other people in our lives, like boyfriend, girlfriend stuff, right? We're not exactly swingers. We have gone to clubs. We have hooked up with another couple at the same time one time, but usually we hook up with each other, and it's kind of we go to sex clubs really just to kind of be in a sexy atmosphere and kind of to feel, I don't know, it's fun. It's fun for us. So we're going to go from strictly virginal to now we're heathen as fuck. That's kind of how that works out. And we're still going to be together on this shaky, weird ground. Pluto in Libra, right? So this is extreme relationships, right? Because Pluto in Libra is extreme Libra relationships. Pluto in Libra generation has to deal with, you know, the whole culture, like Republican, Democrat, right? Like super divisive, right? Christian, not Christian. It's kind of like you kind of go between these, trying to equal it out, right? That's kind of what our people with Libra Plutos are trying to do. And so we're going to have that in the area of sex and intimacy, and we're going to have this in our finances, loans, things like that, right? It's where we have Pluto in our charts is also kind of where we experience a bit of a crisis, right? And ours early on in sex and intimacy was it's problematic being a virgin and trying to get sexual, trying to immediately feel that, right? Trying to immediately step into that. That was hard shit. So yeah, we're going to have a crisis in sex and all those things, right? And who knows, we might have some later on too. I don't know. It's not Uranus, so I kind of don't expect to flip-flop there, but I don't know. It's also kind of where we can transcend and transform, right? And learn how to balance out. So it's, yeah. Anyway, there's that. We have this very, very Virgo 7th house, which is really nice then if we look at this is my chart. So this is me on the outside. This is our synastry, the chart we were just looking at. And we can see that, see, look, I have a fuck ton of Virgo. So much Virgo. What I like about our chart, though, is that I have all these retrogrades, right? Saturn, Mars, Jupiter. Our Mars is in Leo, and it's direct. Mars likes being in Leo. It's kind of a longer burn. It's an easier time taking action. So me partnered with my husband gives me and him a better Mars, which is really awesome, right? It gives us as far as astrologically speaking, Mars, there's certain houses Mars likes to be in, there's certain houses it doesn't like to be in, where it has an easier time getting things done or a less easy time getting things done. In Leo, it can get shit done. It's gonna go a little bit slower than, say, in Aries, it's domicile, but we don't mind because it will move. And then I have Jupiter retrograde here at 8 degrees, and we have Jupiter direct. So Jupiter in retrograde in Virgo, Jupiter's in detriment there, right? I need a lot of facts about my beliefs fall apart if I can't prove them. And beliefs aren't necessarily meant to be provable. So I'm fucked, kind of, in that way. My Mars is retrograde here. Here, it helps to be more direct. And then Saturn retrograde, Saturn direct. So my relationship with my husband puts me in a better place, sort of mentally. He's gonna be able to help me. Our relationship together is gonna be able to help me to not be so hard on myself. Because Virgo anxiety, especially when you have planets in Virgo that are in retrograde, oh shit, you can be so mean to yourself. You can be mean to yourself. So that is really, really nice. Yes. Oh, I see in our 5th house, my IC, right? So my roots, family, home, foundations is in the sign of Cancer, which usually has to do with home, being at home. And it falls into our 5th house of children. So I'm definitely going to be, if I were looking at this chart and I didn't even notice, I would say she is probably likely to stay home with the children, right? There is a likelihood of that being here. There was something else that I had seen too. So his 6th falls into our 5th house, right? So he is going to work every day for his children, right? So that's an indicator of probably maybe the major breadwinner here. If these were flopped and it was mine and his, you could say the same thing. Let's see. Oh, this is kind of fun for me too. So that Venus we were talking about earlier, this is in my 12th house of I can't tell, I can't see her. It's in a foggy place. She doesn't know her value. And Venus in Pisces is extremely valuable, right? She's exalted here. She's extremely valuable. She's really good at, relationships, charming. She's really good at making everyone feel like one. We can be one together, right? She's good at singing and dancing. Oh, yes, I am. Anyway, so our first house, the car we're driving, helps me to see her better. Look at this, because she's in our first house and she's conjunct our AC. That's awesome. It also means that when we're together, people are drawn to us because my Venus is here, my attractor is here. So that's super fun. I have my sun in our 12th house. It's next to our moon, which is good. Anytime you have a sun moon contact, it means that the couple, it's usually an indicator of marriage in synastry in particular, like when the two charts are separate. But my sun here, this does mean that in our relationship, I will be less visible on my own, which is still pretty true because I stay home a lot, right? If I had a job, it was usually something that was like, I worked at the gym so that we get free gym membership, and then there was free childcare, and then I taught classes for some extra money, right? Things like that. But it was all based around children and home for me. But it does mean that I'm less visible, right, in the outer world in our relationship. And we also, our feelings, we in a moon in Aquarius, and it's almost in Pisces. You can see it's at that degree. As we grow together, this moon is going to go into Pisces. But it does mean that we intellectualize our emotions, right? Our feelings. We will tend to, instead of blaming each other for things, right? You hurt my feelings and I can't tell you why, right? One, Virgo, Mercury ruled, right? And then Saturn, reality ruled, right? It's reality, but idealized reality, right? It adds a bit of, it's like a Mars Saturn, right? So it it wants to constantly structure and then test its structure to make sure that it's actually structurally sound. Does this system work, right? It's kind of what Aquarius is looking for all the time, when what structure or system works best for the whole. So we're constantly doing that, right? Our emotions then go, well, if I do this, then you should be able to do this. If you do this, then I should be able to do this, right? It becomes almost like a math equation in a way. But if we had Gemini, it'd be even more. But anyway, so we're going to, instead of not be able to talk about our feelings or not be able to feel hurt, instead we're going to be like, oh, hey, this is the problem, this is the situation, and then we'll attack the situation rather than each other, right? Which works out really well for my son, and it works out really well for his son too. His rising is in Aquarius, so there's that. Oh, yeah, that's fun. Anyway, we have a lot going on in Aquarius, is all I'm saying. And the 12th house of undoing ourselves, right? It's in the 12th house because we came together to be spiritual, and spiritual delves into the afterlife, right? So heavily focused on that. Yeah, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop there. It's just kind of fun to look at these things, and I thought, I look at these things all the time. I should definitely share this with everyone. Okay, one more thing. I'm going to do the transits with us. This is what's going on right now in the atmosphere, right? Right now, these planets are here, out there in space. And how are they affecting us right now? Well, our 8th house of sex and intimacy has a lot of Libra in it, right? This also has to do with taxes and loans, right? And I just made a appointment at the bank for us to kind of go over our future financial planning, because it's a great time to do it with Venus, a benefic in her domicile, Mercury able to talk about it, get eyes on it, and the sun shedding light there, but also getting ready to go into Scorpio, which should rather be in than in Libra. So it's a good time to do it. Also, I planned it because Venus and the sun are going to be in Cazimi. They start the Cazimi on Friday, and then it goes exact on Saturday. And if you can, definitely anytime there's going to be a Venus sun Cazimi, plan some shit, right? Plan some stuff. And so I thought, oh, let's make a bank appointment to go over things, because then you have the transits kind of on your side, if you will. Anyway, it's really good. Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of fun to be able to like plan those things and think about those things. Mars is in our fourth house of sort of like the living room, roots, family, home, foundations. And our next door neighbor is building all kinds of stuff in the backyard. And so it's definitely disrupting our thoughts every day. And it's definitely like a Mars, like warring kind of go through there every day. You hear a lot of people arguing back there and stuff. So it's kind of fun to see that happening, and in that way, how it's being expressed is in this way. It could also mean like fighting with family. That could be a thing. Ew, that's interesting. I have family visiting. Why? Why? Anyway, it's funny. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing now. That was my little like musings. I hope you find some of these things interesting. I know I love looking at stuff every day, and why not share it? Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you so much. I'll see you all later.